try to get the audio to work last time.
Ben! The audio work?
Ah, the meatballs!
We're in business.
All right, guys. Well, it was a great meeting. See you
Yeah,
again.
totally. And I'll see you guys later.
Right on, right on. Will it stay?
Basil in the Time Attack group says audio on YouTube is working now.
People and stuff.
Basley
I
West.
really feel quite bad, Ryan, because I don't think that you did a good job advertising that this was not going to be in any way official, provide any new information, any clarification. Like this was just going to be a complete waste of everybody's time.
I'm glad we're on the same page. Yeah. So
like people are checking in, going like, "What are the rules updates happening?"
Never.
Yeah, because that was so useful.
ooh.
Oh, too soon? Too soon? Too soon, Junior.
Oh, you got it off your page.
I could
Sorry.
try to look on mine.
Cutting out there.
Fading into blackness.
So yeah, I guess where do we go? Are we talking classing, things that change, things that are that cannot be?
Yeah, we've decided. Yeah, those are banned. Discuss.
Well, step one, everyone has to hate the rules.
Check.
Sweet.
Perfect.
Needs the official standpoint of our current leadership.
No, I hate my tires.
I hate street tires, but I also don't want to buy Hoosier A7s.
Oh,
I
isn't that the goal?
That I can't use anymore, so that's
So
good.
I need some weird in between land. That would be perfect. Which is gonna save me money.
Well, it's some weird land.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna hide that for now.
Everybody is spending 4 years worth of racing budget this winter to try for the one-time record next year on the cheater tires that can never be replicated after that.
Don't suck.
Nice.
Words to live by, buddy.
Don't suck.
I saw Anthony's drone footage view. You Mark. Quick tip. So let's say here's your apex, right? Okay, apex. So here's more so where you want to be. This.
Let the shit talking begin.
All right. Two things, Ryan. Number one.
Only two. Wow. All right.
3/4 of those clips were Rich, because you can tell because he has a different color helmet than me. And number two, they only got our warm-up laps. So
I too, when I'm warming up, make sure I'm far off the driving line.
you wouldn't
So
understand
when aren't you warming up there,
Rust
Ryan?
of Miata.
I don't actually warm up. I don't drive very much.
Undrivable.
I don't know if I actually made it to a single warm up session last year.
Ooh, I'm Ryan. I'm so good I don't need to warm up. I just hit apexes.
I never said I did.
No,
I
he talks shit. He doesn't hit apexes.
You know, I think that like if I was going 10 seconds a lap slower, I'd have time to find an apex too, Ryan.
Ooh. Ooh, truth hurts, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah. If only I had, emotions.
Well, it's a good thing you don't. That's what beer is for.
No.
All right. Do we actually want to talk about Robux?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think we need that one yet. So I'm going to try and find the actual classes here. I forget where they were. Green flags, event safety, eligibility.
Now, just a quick note while you're doing that for our viewers.
Yep.
If you do have internet access, or if you don't want to locate the classing that way, you can just bring me beer directly, and we can accomplish it that way. You can be in whatever class you like.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Man, I was one for cookies.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Cookies and beer.
Walking around the pits with a case of beer is just, it just doesn't feel right.
Oh yeah, no, this is more of an in advance of the event.
Oh, okay. Now I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always leave the cooler full of beer in the back of the truck.
As you should.
Yes.
For after the events.
Correct.
Yes.
When there's no cars on track, the event is closed for the day.
And the barbecue is already running.
Oh, I love barbecue. So we're looking at SCCA right now. Is that I'm trying to?
We can, yeah. We start there because that's gonna be the new rule book.
Yeah, it's a new rule book.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
think
so-
we have the full goat book published yet, do we?
No, it
No.
pretty much refers to SCCA. I'm hoping to, once I actually understand how they've changed max. Really,
I've just gotten a message from Basil saying he's actually going to run tuner this year. That the beer is incoming.
oh. So
Tuner.
he's standing inside of the
Air
keg.
coolers.
I'm not that expensive, to be totally honest. A keg seems like a lot. Like,
All right, my Miata is stock. It's in Sport 6.
yeah, again, I kind of thought so based on the lap times.
Wow. Oh, what were we talking about at the time deck meeting? The big change was tire wear or tire rating?
The meeting last fall,
Yes.
the big change was going from CACC rules to SCCA rules.
Yeah, but like the big difference we talked about was the tire rating.
Yeah.
Okay, I need more
Yeah,
beer.
so that's a big one. So SCCA does the 200 tread. I made a 100 treadwear tire and I put a 200 sticker on it, but it's 200.
Yeah, we promise.
We promise. So now I guess Sport, Tuner, Max all have to be 200 treadwear. And people like Mark can run unlimited in unlimited, assuming you have the right safety for that class.
Okay, so does that get rid of the hell were those tires Joss was running?
Yeah, so like that's the official SCCA rules. But what we've adopted for 2021 is we will expand that to include 100 is now the line in the sand, right, Ryan?
Yeah, we'll include 100 to 199. We'll consider those equivalent to 200 for the season. So
okay.
if they're dated 2020, pretty much if you have old tires or have already bought them.
Oh yeah, it was before August 31st, 2020.
I think right
Whatever.
now I'm just going to end up doing it as 2020 just so it's easier. I think the last event was October, so I was looking into calling it that day, but instead of splitting hairs, might as well call it 2020.
Is that a bald joke? Is that what that was?
A which joke?
A bald joke? Is that a joke about my hairline, the splitting hairs? I didn't get it if that was the case.
I did. It was about as good as Ryan's lap times.
This is going to be a theme. I'm going to have to now
Oh,
pick up like a third job just so I can go drop money on a store or something stupid that some bald guy needs.
Yeah. Like sometimes they call it store. Let's be honest, it's just a penis extension.
Oh, this is why you need the CNC for the wood to make the...
I need to read the wood. That's exactly what we're going here.
So there's an inside joke from before audio was working for those at home. I've been told sometimes to make inside jokes to the outside world, and no one understands me.
That's half the fun, though. It just
The
means
best.
they have to come out more.
So we've only had one genuine topic come up, which was our tires.
Yes.
Did we get out what the actual rule is? It's 100 tread wear and higher for this season manufactured with a 2020 date.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what we're going to go with.
Got it.
Obviously, if people get angry enough and want to include 2021 tires, we can look at that later, but for now it is.
Oh, it was the RE71R. That was one I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's a 200 to start with. That would have been legal even under the new rules.
I thought it was a 180.
SCCA rules. But this actually is designed to include some of the track day tires that may or may not be faster, but are definitely designed to last a little longer when they're being melted off and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, like the R888 and other horrible tires to that nature.
Yeah, because it's not like I have a set of those as well that I wouldn't have been able to use. I'm biased, as everyone.
Yeah. Biased goat Ryan.
Biased goat Ryan.
But yeah, and then we will, I guess, or I'm hoping to create a spark notes on the Book of the Goat for
the Book of the Goat.
All the rundown of all the SCCA. It's on there, Book of the Goat.
I do like Goat Book personally, but Book of the Goat sounds more formal. I agree.
Book of the Goat. That's a good one.
Book of the Goat. I don't really know what it stands for, but
I guess the real question is, have you made a helmet that reflects your logo yet?
Not yet, but Wade, if you're listening, you want to make some.
I can't wait to travel to other places in this bizarre post-COVID world, and then be representing Goat Motorsports. I just can't wait to have this conversation with every person I meet as to why our fearless leader, village idiot, came up with Goat Motorsports.
I'm waiting for the first person with the name Billy to sign up for the event.
Done.
Can I just change my name to Billy for the day?
Yeah, seriously.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
I will personally make you a sticker, Billy Goat.
I wanted a hat.
Oh.
Oh.
I mean, if we're gonna do this, I want a hat.
Shit, if we can break even, I'll make bunches of swag.
Okay.
So much goat stuff. Goats everywhere.
So.
Oh, sorry, Jeremy. I'm sorry. They're like sheep, just with like.
Oh, yeah. Jeremy corrected. Yeah, it is 200.
Jeremy doesn't like goats.
Why doesn't Jeremy like goats?
Maybe it's a childhood phobia.
Valid, could be.
Like, one must not discount that. That is a genuine psychological issue to work through that we shouldn't be so glib about. Life lived with a fear of goats. Like, that's its own challenge, and we shouldn't really. Like, he's got his own things to worry about.
What about life lived with the fear of Ryan?
Oh, shots fired.
So I've actually removed the mirror from my bathroom. It's
This is a weird segue.
This is a weird segue.
All right, so back to rules. Can we go to rules?
Okay, we can. So which new class does Ryan have a chance of winning in?
None.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he might find an empty class.
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, like unlimited.
Unlimited won't be empty.
I know. There's at least Mark and Basil and others.
Actually, we have a bunch of Americans that are really excited to come up because they've never been to Mission before, so they're really excited to come to Mission. And I'm really looking forward to that day when we can be a cross-border.
Mission. I've started finding Mission to be a lot more interesting as soon as you can actually kind of get the nitty gritty. I don't know if you guys have had the same thing compared to lapping.
Yeah, I mean, it became a lot more fun when I stopped caring about the Civic. You just start hopping curbs and it gets a lot more entertaining when you have 140 horsepower.
Nice.
And me driving it, which doesn't help anything.
Tyler, what do you drive?
I don't drive.
Miata.
No, he drives a big truck and a bunch of cameras.
I'll hot lap it in my truck.
Especially
I would
since it
probably-
struggled to go up the hill at ice racing.
I'd break
That's
so
his
much
option.
shit.
It's okay, Tyler. I'll help you put a turbo on it.
Done.
That would be actually
Ask
really
Brian
good
how
on that truck.
worked out for him.
It would work. It's already got an LS, so like we're
Yeah,
halfway
it's
there.
a 4.8 LS, so
Tyler,
it's
where would you like it?
Ooh.
Through the hood. Actually, no. Could we do side exit out the fender?
is that even big enough?
Is there a cat on top of your turbo, or a turbo underneath your cat?
Uh,
A little bit of a column A, a little bit of column B.
I'm down for this. I support this really great, terrible idea.
it's okay. We'll get you in the lovely tuner category.
That'd be, yeah. There's gonna be so
Oh
much
yeah,
body
he would be in
roll on
that
those
category.
bikes.
What
No.
am I gonna-
JDM life.
You added turbo. You go straight to max.
Oh, I'm definitely in tuner.
As it found. Yeah. So I guess we'll.
I think it's going to be really exciting to see who comes to Vancouver Island for the first time. While not rules specific, I think it's going to reward a very different type of car, and it's going to have people who, maybe didn't have a bunch of horsepower for some emission straightaways. That all of a sudden it's going to be a really engaging track to play with those cars because it rewards such nimble cars, and there's lots of transitional elements and things that are just fun in a car that turns well. And I'm pretty excited to see everybody who comes out for the first time. Like it's a fun track. It's different.
I think different is the key. Like, it's nice to have changes.
Different is new.
I guess
Yeah.
my like the big question now is when are we going to get to this post-COVID world you keep talking about, where we can travel across borders and
Just in 2 weeks. That's all.
yeah, okay.
Once you get the vaccine.
Well,
Yeah.
is that going to be a caveat for crossing the border? Like, you're going to have the vaccine and proof you've had it to cross a border?
Probably.
It's really common in a lot of parts of the world. Like if you
Yeah.
want inoculation papers and you show them that when you fly into the place. It's actually not that different than when people are getting on a plane now and they're being asked to show a negative last 48 hours and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's gonna change things a little bit. I mean, most of my racing friends in the States don't even have passports, so trying to talk them into getting a passport and a vaccine and having documentation for all of it, it's
It's
weird.
like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
It's very different. As Canadians, we're used to going down to the States. We've got a pretty small pond to play in sometimes, and we're used to ordering out of the U.S. and like it's just life.
Yeah,
Like-
going across the border to pick
Yeah.
parts up is kind of what you do.
Yeah. I know a lot of my American counterparts are just they don't consider going to Canada or buying something from Canada the same way that we do from the U.S.
Not at all.
Do you think we could smuggle them across the border if we go to the island? Because then it's just a boat. And they probably don't
Easy.
regulate that.
Yeah, maritime law is not even a thing. It's just a suggestion.
It's like a speed limit.
And actually, in fairness, there's a great ferry that goes basically from Seattle to the south tip of Vancouver Island that actually will save people money. It'll save Americans money, and it will cut a bunch of travel time off for them.
That is true.
So is everyone here? Galen, are you driving this year, or are you just you coming out?
That's to be determined. I have to finish. Well, I have to
Would-
finish a car.
Sorry.
So I have to finish a car at least.
Yeah, you gotta get that.
Well, I wonder how my
R34
drift
finished.
car would do at time attack.
It'd be cool.
It'd be, I think it'd be terrifying, to be honest.
Do it.
As long as you have brakes more than.
Yeah, I mean, I got big brakes, so I'm not worried about that, but it would be a little terrifying, like trying to get the car to turn into a corner.
That's what e-brakes are for.
It's true. But it's not a very fast way around the track.
So if you brought that out, you'd probably be in the sport class because stock motor. Although
Probably running some data times.
I did actually read up a little bit, and I found out so you're allowed baffles in a non-modified motor, which is kind of nice. So anything that's allowed in sport and tuner is then allowed in max, which if you read through the max rules, it's not innately apparent of what's required because it says, sport Sport tuner. I don't. So,
Yeah, that's actually a good point. That all of the SCCA rule books build on the previous classes, and generally they all allow everything in the previous group. Plus, here are these new allowances.
Yeah.
And so, if you already started with a fairly modified car, I know not everybody goes back and reads the stock class allowances, and like there are some, and more so in Time Attack where they're trying to give some reliability mods, oil coolers, and like just try and help your car stay alive for a bit when you're out running mission.
as long as you're not updating rotating assembly, you touch valves,
Oh, like for sure, like it's definitely mild.
tappets, or even
Allowances.
try and put larger journals in your cam or something stupid, then that's not.
That's all in the stock class still, or sport class?
No. So you can't touch rotating assembly. Where's sport? I can try and bring up what the sport ended in.
Like, is this?
Yeah, and I think we've also had some questions about some of the mods and things that are not covered in the rules, but are actually covered under stock rebuilds. Like I know we had a question about head gaskets, for example, and like there's no allowance to replace a head gasket in Max, but the reality is there are rebuilds for all classes that allow you to fix your motor back to the way it was. Deck the head and overbore slightly within limits, and same within SCCA autocross classes and in other road race organizations.
If I fix my EJ, does that mean it's fixed forever?
No. You get maybe 6 months tops.
Sorry, Basil. That was fair for that. But yeah, what are you allowed? The other interesting thing, you can unplug your fuse to get rid of your ABS. I learned this one.
And who again thinks that's a performance mod to not have ABS?
Mini Cooper S.
Okay.
Oh, do you remember who was it who came out the one year for ice racing that brought like the new Subaru WRX a couple of years back that tried to get the damn thing to stop in the stop box? I can't remember his name now. I think Greg was helping him drive the car, but they tried literally everything to get the car to actually stop at the stop box. And basically when the ABS initialized, it just let the car roll because it was sliding so much. So they couldn't stop. Like, you could enter the stop box at 10 miles an hour, hit the brakes, and it would lock up, and it would just start rolling out the back of the stop box.
Did they try pulling the fuse?
They pulled the fuse. They tried to reflash it and disable the ABS, and nothing. That damn car would not stop on ice.
Huh.
Which was funny because it was a Subaru.
Should have bought a Miata.
Should have bought a lot of things. I think the funniest car we ever had out was a Toyota Sienna. That thing did incredibly well on ice.
Wasn't that last year?
I think that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, I was not around for that.
No.
Yeah, I see that Nick Chua said FRS as one of the cars with horrific stock ABS.
Yep.
We've had a few examples of those, especially at autocross, where they're just awfully behaved cars as soon as you got into any sort of bump. It's like, no, you don't need any braking. You're fine.
That's literally what it feels like.
Yeah, we've consulted some engineers in Japan, and we've decided that your request for braking is denied.
Yeah, you don't need braking's for cowards.
There you go.
Braking is for
Exactly.
cowards.
Just turn in.
Yeah. If you have Miata horsepower, just don't brake into turn 4. It'll be fine.
Drive into the wind.
How we're all doing turn 4 flat this year. Isn't that the challenge that you issued? Everybody's going to provide their data, and we're going to see who's full of it.
Yeah.
What, turn 4 at Mission?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, like there's the group of people that for them not braking is a win, and then there's the I don't have to lift, and then there's the I'm going to actually go full flat. Like, that's a bravery moment. That's
I'm not one of those guys.
No, it's the right combination of car and power for sure. Like, it turns pretty well and doesn't accelerate that hard. Sounds like a Miata, actually.
Yeah. That was the first corner I ever spun in was 4. Because I turned in a little hard and went up the curb.
You went up the curb on the inside, or?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, not a lot of margin for error in a few spots there.
Nope. I mean, it was a Civic, so I wasn't really going that fast, but a terrifying moment a little bit.
See, the problem is Greg tried to always get me to turn in later because he has all-wheel drive and unfortunate head gasket problems. And
Unfortunate.
I've learned don't do that in a Miata with toe out in the rear.
Oh, no.
It's yeah,
Oh.
it kind of shut me down a little bit. So
I have a message from Basil here that he's proposing a fastest turn 4 sector time challenge. I have gone ahead and accepted on behalf of the group.
I mean, I could bring out my speed gun and we could see who's going through it the fastest.
ooh, who's got thanks Mike Marriage? Who's got Soul Storm? Because then you can actually share your data and see who's full of it.
But then you just need Soulstorm to sponsor it, so you have a prize like a 6-pack.
Some app that I shall leave nameless.
Turn 4 challenge as sponsored by Petrol Data.
No, he hasn't sponsored. You see, he's got to come to an event.
He is now going to have to.
Yeah.
Just because we said it.
Well, there's now
YouTube sponsorship.
I mean, it's a good challenge.
It would be. If only he had sponsored us. That company. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, we don't know who they are until we see the check. Then we know who they are.
All you got to do is just come out for the year. That's it. Just come out.
Yeah, just bring your GT3 and do your thing.
Or a Miata with a K-swap or something that is definitely not very competitive according to the rules that we're supposed to be talking about today, but apparently...
I mean, we talked about them a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of not very exciting. There's still rules.
Like, what should we talk about in the rules? Like, do you think there are areas that are not understood, or... Because, like, rules are innately not a fun subject, so, like, unless there's something we can accomplish...
Oh, I had one. Shit, where was that message?
Somebody with a BRZ. Tuner 4. Sorry.
Which, actually, that's definitely an excellent car for that class. I think my old 128 would have also been a great car for that class, and I think Tuner 4 would have some fun battles.
Because there are a couple Subarus came out last year. So it should be good.
I think an S2K is also in that class, and it's probably the theoretical winner, but like there's a bunch of pretty good choices in there.
I actually didn't check where the S2K sits.
It's in Tuner 4 as well.
Hey, Josh, I know you're listening, you're watching this. What was that question that Jesse had?
Josh just wants you to finish your project cars.
I mean, he does and he doesn't. That's why he sold his, so that he could beat me.
He's got a leg up on you.
Well, he's now got less cars than me, so I feel more terrible about life.
Tuner 4 is actually a pretty good S2000, Civic SIs, RX-8s.
Oh, that's what it was. Fuel lines through the inside of the car.
Oh. You have to have extra safety suit and stuff. I think you're allowed that even in like sport, which is weird.
Really?
I read something about that.
I remember seeing something in the CSCC ones that you couldn't have a surge tank until you hit GT class or something.
Yeah, that automatically bumped you a bunch.
What page are you looking at there, Ryan, so I can show that?
I'm doing the Control F thing, trying to find where I read it.
Just in Tuner? Like,
starting in fuel cells may be used in cars with the following restrictions and allowances, which is at the beginning of most. I believe all of the what's my class, choose a class, and then ask for read the extra details, whatever they are.
General modification rules?
Okay, we'll go through this, and then Basil's got a question about max rear window delete.
Max.
Oh, okay.
But now that he's brought it up, that's it. You're racing with Mark in the limited.
Well, Basil has asked, under max class rules, can I strap my rear windows in my car and still be class legal? Fixed in the vehicle somewhere more convenient for weight. So I am not aware of an allowance to actually remove the rear windows in max, except under the safety rules. So I don't think there's an actual allowance in the class, and we can certainly check it out there, just to remove the windows. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and assume you're not able to, Basil.
So, Galen, if we go down to the max category,
I'm right there.
So we actually need the full class rules. So they're up at the top under national rules, and then max category.
Oh, okay.
Because this is kind of like the quick guide as to what car goes into what
Yeah,
class.
yeah.
You want the
Oh,
detail.
okay. And
The fun thing is, like,
so
even though
you're talking about like sport tuner max category safety?
Exactly. So if we go to max category,
Fuel
Great.
cells may be used. Vehicle. Oh, okay.
Perfect. And so then when we scroll down past the classing, we'll get these are the modifications.
So
If I was wondering about removing windows, the first place I'm going is to section 2 here, where we look at chassis, interior, bodywork.
yeah,
so my only comment to that is Max is still supposed to be a street-driven car, and I feel like Officer Kane would probably pull you over.
okay, but like he'd pull over my Xterra. Let's be honest. Like, come on now. I'm surprised he hasn't yet, but probably don't drive it anywhere.
So
This is why we've all since gotten daily drivers, and then have started to want to race said daily drivers at the track circle.
yeah, so when I look at this, there's no allowance in chassis, but I think interior is where it would be if there was one.
Cosmetic interior panels, fuel tank, fuel cell panels, fuel tanks, fuel cell. Yeah, maybe bodywork.
Yeah, so and again, to me, I'm not seeing an allowance to remove it, except there is one under the safety requirements, as far as I know, if your roll cage protrudes into the area where the window would need to be. But if we go back to that interior section, it says, as with the sport and tuner categories, there's a safety loophole. If you add a roll bar meeting level 2 standards, you can remove carpet and trim.
Yeah.
If you do a full cage, then you can remove everything other than the dash. Even that still uses some words like trim, which maybe there's some debate as to whether glass falls in that.
Well, I guess let's see what Unlimited says. Because if Unlimited says you can pull the windows out, then that's a...
So we're looking at max here, but I think Basil's in Unlimited.
Yeah, but like if in Unlimited they make a note about pulling windows out or like any sort of windows, that's where that would be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're allowed to pull what minimum.
Yeah, it says okay.
Something in
Polycarbonate windows are allowed.
Yeah.
In Unlimited.
Correct. And I would add to that it says that you are allowed to add polycarbonate. It does not say you can delete glass. It says you can replace it with polycarbonate.
Correct.
So I think we're back to the same conclusion, which is there's no allowance to just delete the windows and move them somewhere else in the car. If there's not an allowance to delete them, then there's not an allowance to relocate them.
Yes.
So hopefully that answered the question, Basil. Is it Basil or Basil? Does anybody know?
There's no Discord link, Greg. Not allowed to pull windows in Max. Thank you. Greg commented.
Thanks, Greg. From my previous comment about your Subaru motor.
See, I'd like to invite Greg to be part of the panel next time. The qualifications are, do you have a beer? Do you have a webcam? If so, you too can be on the panel.
I mean, we can invite anybody who wants to join. I'm good with that.
Let's get Greg on here right now.
I started with Ryan and Tyler because they were talking to me at the moment.
No, I'm just here, like, background.
You're the pretty face. Let's put it that way.
Yay! I feel appreciated today.
And Basil wants to follow up with this and says Max is stupid.
That's a fair, yeah. That's
Eating it unlimited, so I don't understand. Okay.
eligible kit cars.
Yeah, Ariel Adams can make friends now.
Oh, is the Factory 5, the 818 is that weird thing powered by the Subaru motor, right? Is that what that is?
And sorry, did we answer Josh's question about fuel lines around the inside of the car?
No, we didn't.
It's almost like we all have ADD.
Maybe a little bit. Okay, so
Any fuel lines, including gauge and vent lines that pass into or through the driver passenger compartment, shall be of steel tube or metal braided hose or bulkheaded.
where was that?
Surprisingly, the top section of sport. I think it's the top section of all categories. Under safety.
Because safety applies to everyone.
Safety third.
No, there
Yeah,
we go.
you're right, 'cause that says sport tuner and max category safety.
Yeah. Their throw bar stuff. Fuel cells may be used in cars with following restrictions and allowances. Any replacement fuel cell should be constructed and installed into racing standards. OE lines may be replaced in conjunction with a fuel cell. Fuel lines, including gauge vent lines, that pass into or through the driver compartment shall be of steel tube or metal braided lines. So we don't need a different...
So this is a great example of why we need to continue to read, though, because D and E are really important, and this could wreck somebody's day. If you have replaced your fuel lines with aftermarket fuel lines, you must wear a suit, shoes, glove, and underwear.
Correct.
That meet SCCA level 2. You must have onboard fire suppression, meeting SCCA level 2.
Ooh.
Right?
Those
So-
are definite caveats to that one.
In a stock BRZ.
Well, the question is, like, why are you replacing the fuel lines in a stock BRZ?
Put
Right.
the stock ones back
There's-
in.
There is some risk that your aftermarket lines are less safe than the fuel lines.
I think I did, Josh. But that's a good question. Safety level 1 standards. So Josh asked the question about 1.5 120 wall DOM for roll cages.
Ooh, yeah, those are totally in there.
Roll cage tubing. Yeah, Josh. 2,700 pounds and up is 1.5 120 wall. Josh, does that mean we're building a roll cage soon? I mean, it's only taken them 3 years to look at that car.
What car are we building? Are you guys building?
He's got an S14 that he blew a brake line in, and then when we couldn't get factory brake lines anymore, he took the whole car apart.
Jeez,
It's now
You know-
sitting in his shop.
not bad.
That's where my old motor went.
It's probably worth, like, 1.5 by 120 is a super standard roll bar size, but I do note for anybody who's got a light car here that SCCA time trials has put in some fairly thin gauge and some smaller dimension tubing, but
Yeah.
those, to the best of my knowledge, are not shared with a lot of other organizations. So, like, this would be one of those moments where you want to check every possible rule book of anywhere you think you could ever end up going with the car. Last thing you want to do is build a roll cage that meets this specific requirements, but for some reason didn't work with NASA or SCCA's general competition rules, stuff like that.
Yeah, same with when you guys eventually want to do NOx.
Yeah, I looked it up on the CSCC book, and it was 1.5 120 wall again.
Yeah, I think that's generally I think
pretty
that's allowed
standard.
for pretty much everything, but it's the ones for the lighter cars under it that a lot of other series don't have a, if your car's lighter, you can use this gauge.
Yeah, there used to be a little bit of discrepancy between, like, some places didn't allow 1.5" 1/2-0. They only allowed 1 3/4 095. But I think that has since changed. Of course, I can't find the damn thing.
This is how we know we've made it into meat and potatoes. Everyone's just Googling.
Yeah, okay. There's the same one in the CACC book. Really, Greg? 1 3/4 095 is lighter than 1.5" 1/2-0?
Kind of makes sense. I mean, the wall is 20% lighter and it's only like 15% larger diameter.
Facts.
Yeah, okay.
Science.
I never thought of that. Like, most of the time for me, it's whether or not I, like, that extra 1/4 inch of clearance is nice because I don't fit in cars as it is.
I think that's actually a reason why a lot of this stuff is 1.5 is just that much easier to get, tight dash bar fitment and stuff like that.
Galen, I think you should stop driving Miatas.
I've only ever driven 2 Miatas.
Really?
Yep. One of them was when I worked as a lot boy in BMW. And when you close the door in what would that have been, like a 98 Miata?
I believe that's the only year they didn't make.
I was just going to say, I think that's the only non-existent Miata.
97?
Did it do this?
Yeah. Or was it more of a...
Or was there no this?
I can't remember. I think it was pop-up.
Oh.
No, it wouldn't have been. It would have been the one after that.
99.
Oh, so the good-looking one.
Yeah, okay. So when I close the door, when I climb in one of those, I can no longer move my knee, which means pushing the clutch pedal is rather entertaining. I basically had to take swings at it with my foot.
You could drive around with the door open.
Yes,
just treat
that
it
was...
like a dog box and just forget clutches. Just power shift everywhere all the time.
I mean, I was trying to move it around the lot to park it, so
That
power
does sound
shifting
like
really didn't...
do a no clutch 1-2.
I drove a Miata was trying to teach a guy to drift in one of the newer ones like 2 years ago.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't fit in those things. My chin came up to the top of the windshield. It was awkward. And it was unfortunately because I was towing Josh down to do drifting. And I showed up and one of the instructors had blown his foot up the night before with some fireworks. So they asked if I could teach this guy. I was like, sure.
Nice.
I was like, why'd you give me the guy with the smallest car? This was dumb.
Whose car was it the one year you sat in that FD and that was quite the treat to watch?
This car I sat in at FD.
No, you sat in like someone's RX-7 FD
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
at Penticton.
Yeah, I don't remember whose car that was. Josh might remember. Yeah, I don't fit in those at all.
No,
So
I think it
how
took
was
it.
your experience with the FD in general?
Well, I mean, I couldn't... Basically, my shoulders touched the roof. So, I never really got the opportunity to drive it. So, I really can't comment on the car itself, but...
Did it
other
have a
than-
sunroof?
Did it have... No.
Because you could have.
I mean, I could have. I've definitely done that in Corollas.
Funny story. If you get pulled over while driving with your head out, let's say, above a vehicle,
Yes, Josh, I think it did.
what do you think the cop is going to write you up with?
If my head sticks out the top of a vehicle?
Yeah, if you're just driving along, heads up the sunroof.
That's a good question.
Nothing.
Driving while improperly seated.
What?
I mean, when I
How?
drive my BMW, my head sticks out past the windshield, so I don't know. Or I should say when I used to drive my BMW. I haven't driven that in 10 years.
I just think the FD was one of these overhyped cars that one of those don't meet your heroes moments that I remember I got to drive one when I was a younger autocrosser, and I was sort of like, what? This didn't change my life. This wasn't the most eye-opening and the most reinvigorating motoring experience I've ever had.
No.
Like, this didn't change the gravity of the planet. This didn't, like, it was just a car. And, like, I wanted to be blown away with the FD. It wasn't.
I think like one of the biggest letdowns in cars for me ever was the GTR. Like,
Really?
I drove one, 10 years ago now at least.
Jeez.
And like as much as like it was a very nice car to drive. Like it was very nice, but it was so I guess hyped up to me.
Galen, don't you have a GTR?
No, I mean wrong kind of GTR. Like a newer like R35.
Oh.
They're just so easy to drive. It takes the
Those
I
are
guess the
overhyped.
scary factor out of it.
No, but that's why people buy Miatas.
That's fair. That's just not me. I guess. Like they were just boring. If it can't kill me, I don't want it.
Well, if anyone out there has a GTR, 35 GTR, don't give it to Galen. I can help you out.
I'm fairly certain nobody's going to give me one of those. So I've driven a couple of them, but
I think
Well,
Mike
there
in his GT3 and Clive in his Corvette are feeling very comfortable in the sport and tuner categories. And it would be nice to see a few people show up with cars like an R35 GTR. That might be enough car to like put some people on their toes.
Although the GT3, I'm pretty sure gets bumped from the sport class.
I think it's a tuner car.
Yeah, I think it goes straight to tuner 1.
But I think Clive's is a sport class car, isn't it?
Actually don't know what trim Clive has. Because the Z06 gets bumped.
Yeah, his is not a Z06. This is actually not even a Grand Sport. I think it's a Z51. A Z51 if you're in America.
America.
America doing the America things.
You know what? Greg has posed a very good question here, which is, can somebody explain why Speedy Goat is a thing?
To what extent?
Loosely paraphrasing. What's
yeah.
going on with the ACC and Time Attack?
Oh, yeah, you can't see that question. It says, can someone explain what is going on with CACC and Time Attack? Is it dead and Speedy Goat is what, taking over, or is it both?
Yeah, for the next year, Speedy Goat will be hosting Time Attack under a single group, single club, as opposed to splitting it between two. But if it came down to manpower and just having designated group. So yeah, for the next summer, it'll be under Speedy Goat, and we'll have the so far right now set up the 6-event series between Mission and VIMC, and then hopefully we can get things going together for 2022 and working out well. We can rejoin CACC.
And I think to...
So I guess, is that your plan, though? Is that your plan to affiliate with CCC in, like, 2022 now?
Yeah, I guess I believe in what CACC has, or the goal of it. I think there's just a couple things we can iron out to make it work better for everyone.
So just to clarify for Greg, but also other people have asked me this, like for 2021, Speedy Goat is basically both the organizing club, so it will replace UBC and VCMC, and it is the sanctioning body, so it will replace CACC in that function. For next year, the goal is maybe to go back to just being the organizing club and reaffiliate under CACC.
In simple terms, Yes, but it's similar like UBC Sports Car Club / series, right? Like they have their own rules for the season. Even though
Yeah, but there's no
even
rule
though
book
UBC
that's
is the ACC group, they're still having their own series, so it'll be just a Speedy Goat series. That makes sense.
Does that answer your question there, Greg?
So,
I'm gonna assume it does, but
with that being said, VCMC and UBC are still hosting lapping events. UBC's got their events posted. VCMC be quick behind. Fun when VCMC still has a lapping event up at Area 27, which is fantastic. Early season, so if you're interested in that, come bug me or any of the other VCMC guys. Yeah, so they're still going full speed with.
I think Greg is still looking for a little more clarification as to
why this
was made to part ways from CACC for 2021, and I think it is due to the timing of them adopting or not adopting the SCCA rules and us wanting to have some direction for Time Attack BC, since CACC has still not yet made any decisions, and it would be March until the next meeting anyways. Is that correct?
Well, right, so CACC still, we voted to adopt the SCCA rules. So even under CACC, the hope would be to still have the SCCA classes for the upcoming year. So Speedy Goat is still using those same rules. I guess, yeah, I'd be happy to bug Greg afterwards. There's kind of a bunch of little things that I'd be happy to explain, probably not after a beer and a half.
Quitter.
Greg is asking the hard-hitting questions here that we don't want to
asking the hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, no, I understand it because it's been a lot. And so I guess I really felt like there needed to be a dedicated group for Time Attack. I felt last year there's a little bit of a split between groups and a little bit of a weird kind of divide. So I figured this would be a good way to have a unified group that hosts a series. Partially for myself, I spent a lot of time last year in a number of hours trying to organize, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without the help of everyone who came out and helped on the day. But this way I can make sure things get done. And it's priority number one for me right now. This next season is priority number one. As I'm sure everyone here has been a part of a volunteer group before. Volunteer groups are phenomenal. It's a lot of fun, but there's it ends up being priority number 2 or 3 for people, understandably so. People have life going on. Some people have kids, some people have a job, some people have 2 jobs. So I just felt this was a way I could do more than just kind of have it as a side thing. And really my hope was to actually grow kind of the community as opposed to just kind of maintain something. So that was one of the other reasons in going for a dedicated group. And I don't know legal speak, so I couldn't set up a nonprofit in time for this coming year. So that was kind of on me. Yeah. So.
And he wanted to be able to win his own event.
There you go. Make your own rules.
Plus, you just felt there wasn't enough goat in BC Motorsport. I get it.
I love goats, and
you better have a goat hat or helmet or something at some point.
Not yet. I'm trying to get the season going, and then we'll be back.
Okay. I'm just saying, if there isn't one by 2022, there might be trouble for you.
Yeah, I'm out.
Okay.
Are we allowed like real animals at the track? Like if there was a goat?
I'm just going to go ahead and say no. On no actual authority, but I'm just going to veto the goat now. Like that just seems like bad business for everyone.
I'm going to say on some actual authority, no.
Could we get farm status?
Can we get a
Okay, hold
discount?
on. Greg says my questions are more around if there are 2 racing series, one CACC and one Speedy Goat, and that would be yes. CACC and Speedy Goat are different things. I don't know if there's a club running CACC at this point.
Not to my knowledge.
So if there is a club that wants to run Time Attack, then yes, there will be 2 separate racing series. But if there's not a club, then no. Yeah.
Yeah, Knox Motorsports Club.
Low side
Yep.
67 says yeah. The only one running is Knox.
So does that mean Goat could host a hill climb?
Oh, goats climbing hills.
Nice.
I mean,
You probably could, but you have to figure out a
They'd
place
be
where.
mountain goats then.
you would have the trophy would be a large.
It would be the annual mountain goat.
Yeah.
Okay, so new plan. Goat hill climb up Cypress Mountain.
I mean, if you're
Hey,
going to
let's-
do it, that's a good place to do it.
Okay.
It's also a terrible place to do it.
Except it'll be a slalom the whole way up, so you can't exceed the speed.
I was just gonna say, like, you'd be doing 250 if you had a clear road. Up that.
Yeah, maybe you had more horsepower than we had.
Okay, so Greg has another one. He says, so I have to build my car to fit into SPX for Knox and Max for Speedy Goat.
CACC also voted to change ruling. So if there was a CACC, so let's say if UBC hosted a Tap Attack event under CACC rules, it would be still under SCCA rules.
Is that now approved? Like it's been.
Nicholas, I like your idea.
We've voted on it, and unless
I think it's up for approval, but
Yeah, I was just-
it's been voted on.
unless the board of directors vetoes it at the spring meeting, is my understanding, it is going forward. Yeah.
Although worth noting, there was some talk about maybe having supregs for Knox, referencing legacy classes. So, like, I think ultimately there's going to be a fair bit of overlap between those 2 classes, anyways. But I think ultimately Knox is going to have to eventually get to SCCA, but they'll probably take more years than the rest of it.
I'm kind of hoping they stay with the legacy classes. Being a single event, they can stay doing what they're doing, especially with the history of the climb. So it'd be nice for them to stick with it, because if they're not hosting a series, they don't need to have the CACC rules.
Jeremy, I'm not sure what you just said. Seymour would be more fun, said Josh.
Good. I would be willing to accept either option.
Oh, I was saving this for later, but
You're showing us the French label.
it's Canada. Go with the times.
Look, we don't need to see any of your rubbing accessories. If you can just put that away.
Cool. So now that we got those great questions out of the way,
Those are good questions, Greg. Keep them coming.
good questions, Greg.
Make Ryan feel awkward.
Yes, I will have to turn up the boost to compete with a Subaru with 2 wings.
So many.
It's only got 2 wings?
Well, it's got 1 wing with 2 elements, I think.
Oh, I fully expected it to have like 5 or 6 by now.
Okay, but at least going back to rules, 2-element wings are legal.
Okay. It's critical that they adopt it, as it's unlikely that Max Prep car will fit into SPX. Therefore, it would be GT and require a full cage. Interesting.
Like, I think that is probably true, that a fully prepped Max car would not fit within SPX.
Okay,
know,
let's
but-
see if I can.
Unfortunate reality is that there are other time attack groups as well in the Pacific Northwest and beyond, and there's not perfect overlap between all of them. And like, if the plan is to run Knox and you need to conform to SPX, you may have to put some Max mods on a burner then, on the back burner. Like, I think it's unfortunate, but that's always been the reality of multiple rule sets. Like, there's no way that for 2021 that Knox will be on SCCA rules. I think, at least my personal bet, no inside knowledge, but I think there's 0 chance that will happen.
I'm with you on that one. I don't think they're going to adopt it that quickly, and
Yeah.
I think registration is open. No.
No, but they've been saying it's coming pretty quick, I think.
Yeah. Well, it'll be open before the spring meeting, so it won't be adopted by then.
Nick Chu's suggestion, but the question is like, where does the horns and how does the helmet and the Hans interact?
So
You just make the horns as suction cups and stick them on the helmet wherever they go.
Okay.
But whether or not they fit with the rest of the vehicle and the Hans device, yeah.
you just can't turn your head with the horns.
I was gonna say it'd be pretty awkward to see it come flying out a window on a corner.
Flying out the window. How about me and my open wheel car?
Oh yeah.
I'm actually really.
Like now, I kind of want to do that.
You can actually team up with Hillary, the Mercedes team, and you could, instead of horns being dragged, they'll actually be wing elements, so it'll actually compress, and you'll have downforce from the driver.
You know, it's funny you say that, but I had to build a 1-inch windscreen on my car because the first time I went to mission, it was literally trying to rip my helmet off. And it was unbelievable. Like I literally put 1 inch of Lexan that was about 12 inches wide, and that game changer. It's like I wasn't even driving anymore.
You need to do the kayak thing, where you kind of put your bib on the kayak and you strap yourself in. You need to do that to your helmet.
There you go. That's an option.
I feel like it would melt inside of that, though.
Nick, I'm glad it was an idea worth discussing. Look, this is a very serious discussion, and we're taking all suggestions at this point.
Oh yes, extremely serious going on here. I might be getting another beer in a second.
Hey Nick, are you coming out to an event one of these days? It's been a long time since we've seen you.
Only if he brings horns.
Does that mean Nick's going to be horny at the event?
No.
I knew that was going to happen eventually, but I didn't think it was going to be you.
I've been accepting this since at least January 1st, so
That's fair.
had at least 18 days now.
So was the goat originally predicated around like, is it greatest of all time related? Like that's been
No.
kind of in popular culture. This is entirely the animal.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny because my hockey team was called the goat.
Motorsports. Like if it was suddenly like greatest of all times, that's kind of funny because it's,
See, I could have been funny if only I was a little bit smart. So
You see. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, hey?
one of those things, yeah.
Okay.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Although I'm glad at least 42% of you are on board.
Unihorn. Ooh. I like where this is going. Nicholas Chu says Unihorn. Is that going on the front of your car, though? Yes, Jeremy, he is right. A fully prepped Max car will be in GT at Knox.
The answer is GT, all of the things. Unlimited in GT. What rule book?
Do what most people do.
What budget?
Do things to your car and then come out and have fun.
I mean, we basically had this discussion on the WhatsApp group where it's like there's so much dicking around about like what class are you in and so forth. We're all running for straight time. Well, most people are running for straight time against their buddies anyways.
Well,
It's a pretty tight window of times.
We did the whole CACC class versus SCCA class where everyone tried to read class.
Running the bastardized cam rules?
And everyone ended up driving with the same people.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Until Prepped and Max kind of went. But
So, Ryan, we are not running cam rules because basically, like, now Max and Below have sort of incorporated in a street tire domestic. Like there really is no extra reason to have those classes. Isn't that the case?
yeah, and I think a couple of people who are running it end up just running in the same class anyways. Just now they're running with a couple other people.
Right. So to answer, Greg, we are not running cam. We are running the SCCA rules. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Polarity.
Yeah.
We really need the GOAT book out soon. Even if it's a one-liner that says see SCCA rules.
Wait, isn't it on there? Hold up. Let me find this.
Oh, it may well be.
You realize like the GOAT book really needs to be like leather bound and like it needs to be an actual book.
I have many leather-bound books. My apartment smells of rich mahoganies.
Book of the Goat, the story of time trust. I definitely wasn't drunk editing this or writing it. It's totally fine.
We just need like an outline of Ryan's face with some horns on it on the front of the book.
Okay.
Anybody but me. Anybody.
Class winners get to celebrate with goat's milk like an Indy 500 victory.
Okay.
Ooh, there you
Interrupting
go.
with goat's
Well,
cheese.
class winners get to celebrate with goat's milk like an Indy 500 victory. I fucking hope so.
That sounds awful.
Out of the same sweaty.
No,
shoe-
each class winner gets to dump goat's milk on Ryan.
Or you have the goat horn, which holds the goat's milk,
Ooh.
and as the reward for winning, you get to suckle at the goat's horn.
Mark, are you a banker or something?
No, bro, I'm an investment advisor.
Say financial advisor. Oh, shit. Is this beer o'clock or it's still? Yep. Look at that. Look at that.
We're gonna need an OnlyFans account for that idea.
Oof.
I mean, it's a great way to make money off of it.
There's motorsport sponsorship packages.
I'm lactose intolerant. That's why we dump it on Ryan. Sounds like a win-win for everybody.
Did I miss something terrible if I sign myself up for something stupid again?
We can do that, Jeremy. Almond milk works too. Oh, there's some shit talking.
Oh, is this on the Indie bots?
In the what?
Where's the shit talking?
It's hardly. It's good-natured ribbing amongst longtime racing buddies.
Isn't that shit talking?
Yeah.
It's a start.
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that's what it is.
So Greg poses an excellent question here, Ryan. There is a reference in the SCCA rulebook to some items being at the steward's discretion. Who is the speedy goat steward that's going to make some of those decisions?
Hey Frank, you looking for?
I get paid in beer.
Hey, Galen's interested.
I mean, it's about the only course I haven't taken yet.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to require a steward course for this. This is going to be a common sense judgment. Maybe there should be a panel, a jury of your peers.
I mean, we could just make another one of these panels.
I vote aye. So
Yeah.
he's good.
So basically, if there's any issue, then we're going to drink beer, go on YouTube, and hash the discussion out.
I think that's.
I think that's a good steward's discretion type thing.
Yeah.
Discretion of the masses.
I do think that there are relatively few items that are not particularly black and white, but hopefully that there is a bit of an element of sportsmanship in here where like things that are obviously gray but are intended one way that we can kind of all agree.
Yeah,
that
Greg, do you have a sample of something that's the steward's discretion that you were talking about?
Mark, I sense you have a problem.
I have a beer problem.
Yeah,
As in-
I'm out.
That's a problem.
The good news is that my wife is downstairs and is only a text away.
I don't have one of those. Fuck.
Wow.
Downstairs?
No. No, a wife.
Yell at Ben. Isn't he like down the hall?
Yeah, I could probably do that, but he'd probably call me an asshole and say no.
You gotta train Aspen better.
I do need to train Aspen better. Okay, max rules for interiors. Let's talk about this.
Keep them in unless you have safety stuff. Then start taking things out. Add more safety stuff. Take more stuff out.
Well, no, let's see if he's got an actual rule.
Oh, okay.
I think you were talking about this earlier. Max rule, okay. Yes, Josh, I have a bin. But again, I don't think he's going to go get beer for me.
Yeah, I don't specifically see anything on here, Greg, that references sort of a steward.
Yeah.
like I think it's relatively straightforward that like everything interior can be replaced but not like that provides a fair bit of direction. I think that you can remake the part in a lighter, maybe carbon fiber version, but like it can't be just ripped out. I think.
Greg got a question for Max. Is that what that is?
Yeah, he says referring to the Max rules for interiors.
Yeah, providing a sample of an item where it might be gray and might need some like an official decision if there was something that came down to it.
Well, the fun thing is we can always message John from SCCA because the whole goal is so that if borders ever open up, we can go down to the States and have our cars be ready to compete. Let's say the Ridge and their SCCA national tour, which is
Okay, you can customize your interior so that you can replace but not remove carpet, seats, trim, maybe even paneling. Maybe that's what he's talking about, like the what's considered trim. We're not going to argue too hard if you do things like remove package trays, such, but we don't want bare interiors, which is fair. Oh, okay. So if you say put intrusion bars on your roll bar, are you allowed to entirely gut the door? Are you talking about putting like door bars that go out into the door?
So that is specified in great detail in safety level 3. Basically says if you put side protection into your doors, then door window glass, operating mechanisms, interior trim panel, armrest, so on and so forth, may be modified or removed. The stock outside latch may not be removed. Like it is actually fairly specific. It's just under safety level 3, where it talks about roll cages, and then bullet 4, which is side protection. So like entirely gut, no, but it has a very, very exhaustive list of what you can do.
Hope that answers your question there, Greg.
Like it also says the inner door structural panel may be modified. So like I would say yes. Like again, not that I'm
yeah, like I think you got as much the door you need to. Where is the safety level rule book? It's under the safety.
All of the safeties things.
All of the safety things.
Well, that's under need to know, which is the first of the top banners. It's actually, in my opinion, not a good place. It should be under national rules where every other rule is.
Yeah, it's kind of in a weird spot, but
yeah, there's a lot of
it is and it isn't.
Do with how SCCA.
So roll car, roll cage, basic design consideration. Is that where it was?
Like even after SCCA posted their
side protection, that's what
Max rules, like look how much conversation on their SCCA national time trials Facebook page. It's a lot of questions going on because just the way it's written.
Yeah, okay, NASCAR style. NASCAR style side protection or one bar bisecting another in the form of an X. Permitted door side tubes may extend into the front door. Oh, okay, only front doors. Door window glass, operating mechanisms, inner door. Stock outside latch locking mechanism. Oh, that has to work. Fun. Are we going to be doing an impound with scales at the event?
I would like to go on the honor system. However, that is entirely possible.
Yeah, I would assume that it would be in result of a protest rather than for general impound.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So if someone would like to protest a vehicle or has intention to protest a vehicle,
I mean, Greg, if you need to add more weight, I can always ride passenger.
yeah, please let me know before
protesting. Bring scales and then we'll get that done for you.
Yeah, if you let me know ahead, we'll bring scales and we can make it happen.
We'll advise your competitor that we intend to weigh them as well.
Yeah, and if you let us know before, we'll let them know before, and then
so that way they can add some weight, obviously.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, We're just a bunch of people trying to do race car things with our race car friends.
This is serious business, Ryan, and like that's the biggest problem I have with this goat business. Is it's too much fun and games. This is serious business.
Needs to be more serious.
I'm trying to do the deadpan face, and I can't.
Look, this is this feeder to F1. We have to take our responsibility very seriously.
I don't fit in F1 cars. I'm good.
Mercedes. We don't want to let the wrong person make their way through our ranks and end up racing for Mercedes F1.
I never have that problem. I will not fit an F1 car.
Yeah, that's the problem, Galen.
Yes, that's the only problem.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's still competitive. So, Mark, you're gonna lose to Miata. It's gonna be awkward.
I'm going to lose to a Miata?
Yeah.
What, am I going to only have one cylinder?
We need rule goats. Isn't there a rule book? You have a rule book, don't you?
The book of the goat says if your name is Mark, yeah, disqualified, dude.
So what now?
Don't worry about it. Potato.
Okay. Man, I'm pretty sure I could call this stream Rule Goats.
Rule of goats?
No, just Rule Goats.
Rule goats?
Yeah, like what Greg said. We need Rule Goats.
Or rule of goats.
Rule of goats.
I'm picturing a goat with a hat on that says rules. Is Tyler... Yes, Josh, he is.
More rules.
I mean, I'm saying that without actually asking him,
Josh.
so yes, he is.
Sure. That's yeah. Yeah. I don't even take pictures of things anymore these days. So, like, sure.
Oh, that's a lie. Like, I can go find your... Was it .net?
I bought
Yeah, that's the one.
a Hasselblad medium format camera to take pictures of my friend's cats.
That is a serious cat weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any of those pictures up here yet?
Cats?
Yeah.
No.
I'm on your website. Is it up here yet?
Oh god. No, I haven't updated that in so long.
Oh, why not?
Because I don't do website
spec
things like you do.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm lazy.
I forgot about Specty. That was, what, in April?
Yeah, April, May.
Was it the last time I saw you? Yeah.
Yep.
Shit.
Oh
Another
god,
goat
we're
with a
looking
hat
at
says
stuff.
safety. Yeah, we're looking at stuff.
God damn.
You're welcome.
Hey, look, it's Ian.
Hey, look, it's Ian. Hey, look, it's the car that showed up to my house in the middle of the night to get parts.
Yeah, I guess I'll take pictures of Time Attack.
Could be fun. Could be a store there.
Done.
Depends if I ever get any work done in my garage.
Well, you could just carry your computer.
Oh, I forgot you went to Rallycross.
Man, that was a long time ago. I was 2016, 2017?
Yeah. Dude, we're getting old.
2016, then this series went under.
Ice racing things.
Yeah, a lot of Time Attack section. Back when, like, the world wasn't broken.
Yeah. Yeah, that year went by too fast.
But hopefully we'll still have ice racing in February.
Oh, I hope so.
We get a cold front coming in.
Fingers
What's
crossed.
that, Mark?
We're supposed to get a cold front coming in the next couple of weeks. It's supposed to be off.
That'd be nice because it was 11 degrees in Ashcroft and
Ooh,
lots of ice.
I mean, ice
Yeah.
wasn't really our problem, but...
I can't imagine the lake being much warmer up there from
Oh,
Ashcroft.
it had
so-
like 2 inches of ice. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Can I install a carbon roof panel?
Ah,
That would be a change to the unibody.
Jeremy, we've talked about this. The rules are not super clear. Don't do this to us.
Do it more.
Gray areas.
Gray areas. All right. He's in tuner, I'm going to guess.
No, he's in max.
Is he?
Yeah.
I will do that for you, Josh.
He's just somewhere between max 4 and max 2. Depending on how many beers he gives Mark.
And the quality.
All right. Let's see. Max 2. Naturally
I'm a big
4-cylinder.
fan of transparency.
Like, we went through this last time, Jeremy, and my just opinion, but the definition between a unibody and a body panel is one that is removable and one that is not. And in my opinion, the rule is fairly clear that anything that can be removed can be rebuilt in carbon, but it says you cannot modify your unibody. And again, to me at least, the unibody is your quarter panel, it's your roof, it's everything that can't be bolted off the car.
Well, it's the unibody. It kind of says it in the whole word.
Right? Like,
You can't take the thing at max 4.
That's
All
my
right.
take on it, but I suspect that if we went to US, I think that that's what they would likely also say.
Replace subframes.
It would
Body
also-
panels may be modified or replaced in original standard locations. Frame or unibody may only be modified in minimal amount to account for allowed modifications. Yeah, I think, Jeremy, that's a no. Sorry, champ.
Can I replace my unibody with air?
As long as that means it went to the scrap pile, sure.
No, just like a couple speed holes. Just start.
Find the rustiest pile of garbage you can find and drive it?
You mean like any 90s Miata?
You mean like any ice racing race car?
There you go. Dimple dye everything.
Wasn't ice racing just Chevettes? You get a Chevette, you get a Chevette, you get a Chevette.
Oh, did you ever see the... what were those? The Subaru Justies? Like the early 80s Subaru Justy? I think that's what it was. There was a pair of them.
No, I didn't see this up there.
Okay, so these things.
This is like
So there was a pair of these from around Ashcroft somewhere that were powered by rotaries. I have no idea why.
how much would it weigh?
I'm gonna guess not a lot.
About the same as Mark's car?
Probably a little more.
That would be fun. Do they have cheater studs?
Well, they were on full race studs, yeah. They were a full race car.
Oh,
So Bonnie says next year, because it's Cars and Ice 50th anniversary.
Okay, Jeremy, no pouting. Come on.
Big ice racing season.
Seriously, Greg? Subaru Justy has a land speed record. I don't believe you.
can we start?
The Subaru Justy series?
Yeah.
All right.
Holy crap, it does. The two-way average was 123 miles per hour for a Subaru Justy.
It's impressive for something so small.
It is.
Really
I did. Thank you. Yeah. Was it a 12A, Josh? All-wheel drive and big wings. I do remember the big wings, that's for sure.
Oh, weird. I think I may kick it, gents.
Yeah, I think we're kind of hitting a good spot here.
Yeah.
I need another beer, and I need to get up for that.
Oh,
For what it's worth, my wife didn't bring me one either, so
Did you ask?
looks like we're all in the same boat.
I did, but apparently she's in the hot tub. So.
All right, I don't feel so bad about my life now. Well, gentlemen, it was very nice. Thanks for joining me.
Yep.
Well,
Next
Sure,
time,
right on.
Ben Greg, so you can't ask me a million questions.
So I think what we're taking away from this is the Goat Book. We should probably post a few links maybe within it to a few pertinent sections.
Yeah.
And maybe consider how we're going to do dispute resolution and, well, pretty much dispute resolution, like either protests or also anything related to impound or just gray areas in the rules. Who will
Thanks,
make
Jeremy.
those now?
Yeah, that can all be added pretty soon here.
You're like, Ryan is judge, jury, and executioner. There's one line solved.
Perfect.
I mean, I do like the discretionary panel idea. That was good.
I'd like to volunteer to serve on that panel because it does seem fun.
Yeah, the requirement is drinking beer.
Nailed it.
So
I did
I'm
university like a bunch of you guys, so we could come up with some good university games. Chug a beer, put your head on a bat, spin around 5 times, and then
and then argue rules. All right.
no. Whoever's opposing or protesting, and the driver in protest will both give them beer. They chug it. They spin the hat or spin on the bat a couple times, and first one down the hall or a map around Mission Raceway wins.
Or an alternative. We put them into a ring and the survivor wins the protest and their life.
Yes.
Lawsuits.
Sumo suits.
Lawsuits, because safety. God.
Oh, you
Here's the
need
worst. What
those
is that?
big, the big air-filled
Liability.
balls. Yeah,
Zorbs.
yeah, those things.
Oh yeah.
We're doing this in Mexico, so it's completely.
Whoever makes it down the front street in one
There
of
we
those Zorbs.
Basil
All right.
says, see ya, unlimited. I'm back in max and you're all screwed.
Max 1. Perfect.
I don't know.